These new paddles from Paddletek are insanely hot off the face. They have essentially no potential for delamination or core corruption issues, and they come in varying models and styles, which I will make sure you know inside and out by the end of this video. So without further ado, let's dink straight into it. The new raw carbon fiber Bantam TKO line of paddles from Paddletek come in at a price of $229, and the new Tempest line comes in at a price of $209. And you can take 10% off any of these new paddles using code STSPickleball, specifically at PICKLEBALL Central.com. Paddletek doesn't traditionally do any discounts on their paddles, so I reached out to Pickleball Central and landed a discount for my viewers. So let's go ahead and dive into what all these paddles do and what their names mean. First off, the Bantam series of paddles is going to be Paddletek's power line. They're utilizing a more powerful core with a larger sweet spot for their Bantam paddles. The Tempest line is going to be more control oriented, softer off the face, more plush, but will have less power overall. Then we have the tko-c and the tko-cx. The tko-c comes in a 12.7mm thickness and a 14.3mm thickness and has a 5.3 inch grip length as seen here. The Tempest tko-c and the Wave Pro C both come with the same grip length. The tko-cx also comes in a 12.7mm and 14.3mm thickness, but has a grip length of 5.75 inches with a usable grip length of 6 inches as seen here, which is super awesome. My personal favorite of the entire lineup is the 12.7mm tko-cx. It has a ton of power, coming close to the new Yola paddles in both pop and power, has solid spin, and has that longer grip length, which makes two-handed backhands a breeze. This is also the paddle Christian Alshan is using, as we learned in the interview I did with him recently. Something about that American-made Bantam core just feels totally different than the polypropylene honeycomb cores coming from China. They are definitely doing something very unique here that yields a super plush trampoline-style effect off the face with a rather tight surface area of the tko-cx with that 5.75 inch grip. I don't find myself put off by the smaller face at all, sweet spot wise, which is kind of crazy to me. When I first played with all of these paddles, I thought I liked the 14.3mm tko-c the best, and then I picked up the 12.7mm tko-cx and it was lights out. So I said in the intro of this video that these paddles have essentially no potential for delamination or core corruption, and there is an objective reason for that. And the reason is these paddles are not Gen 2 paddles, which means they are not thermoformed. These paddles have no edge foam around the perimeter of the core, which honestly just blows my mind that they have this massive of a sweet spot and this much power and pop off the face while not being thermoformed. So let's quickly dive into the twist weight and swing weight of all these paddles, and then we can jump into the accurate RPM results. The Bantam tko-cx 12.7mm comes in at a twist weight of 6.81 and a swing weight of 116.11. The Bantam tko-cx 14.3mm comes in at a twist weight of 7.25 and a swing weight of 124.22. The Bantam tko-c 12.7mm comes in at a twist weight of 6.63 and a swing weight of 114.85. The Bantam tko-c 14.3mm comes in at a twist weight of 6.55 and a swing weight of 115.18. The Tempest tko-c 14.3mm comes in at a twist weight of 6.55 and a swing weight of 121.90. And lastly, the Tempest Wave Pro C 14.3mm comes in at a twist weight of 7.24 and a swing weight of 110.79. And yes, I did triple check all of these numbers and recalibrated my machine before testing, as I always do. Spin wise, these paddles are certainly top tier, with the Bantam tko-cx 12.7mm coming in at 2189 RPM, the Bantam tko-cx 14.3mm coming in at 2167 RPM, the Bantam tko-c 12.7mm coming in at 2089 RPM, and the Bantam tko-c 14.3mm coming in at 2073 RPM. We also have the Tempest tko-c 14.3mm coming in at 2055 RPM, and the Tempest Wave Pro C 14.3mm coming in at 2034 RPM. I always say anything over 2000 RPM is definitely top tier. Paddletek isn't utilizing any crazy grit to achieve these super high numbers, which is good news as they will likely be very durable over time. There aren't any peaks to wear down, as the paddle just feels very uniform on the face. Let's dive into the power and pop metrics for all of these paddles. We have the Bantam tko-cx 12.7mm coming in at 9.6 for power and 9 for pop. The Bantam tko-cx 14.3mm coming in at 9.2 for power and 8.8 for pop. The Bantam tko-c 12.7mm coming in at 9.3 for power and 8.8 for pop. And the Bantam tko-c 14.3mm coming in at an 8.9 for power and an 8.6 for pop. We also have the Tempest tko-c 14.3mm coming in at an 8.6 for power and an 8.4 for pop, and the Tempest Wave Pro C 14.3mm coming in at an 8.4 for power and an 8.6 for pop. So we can see that the tko-cx 12.7mm is the most powerful paddle in the lineup, and it makes sense with that super hot Bantam core and that longer 5.75 inch grip length. Sweet spot wise, these paddles actually do as well or better than any Gen 2 thermoformed paddle in the space. And keep in mind, these are non-thermoformed, so that speaks to the tech Paddletek has implemented into their core design. We have the Bantam tko-cx 12.7mm coming in at an 8.8 out of 10 for sweet spot rating, the Bantam tko-cx 14.3mm coming in at 9, the Bantam tko-c 12.7mm coming in at 9, the Bantam tko-c 14.3mm coming in at 9.2, the Tempest tko-c coming in at a 9, and the Tempest Wave Pro C coming in at a 9.3 for sweet spot ratings. So we can see the wide body version Tempest Wave Pro C has the largest sweet spot, which makes sense, and the tko-cx 12.7mm has the smallest sweet spot, but not by much. There really isn't much drop off near the edge of these paddles like there are with other paddles in the space, so major props to Paddletek in this category. Lastly, we have control. With that plush feel off the face, these paddles do very well in the control category. Of course, they aren't going to compete with the Volair Mach 2 Forza 16mm or a Honolulu J2K, but they do quite well depending on the shape and the model. So for control, we have the Bantam tko-cx 12.7mm at an 8.5, the Bantam tko-cx 14.3mm at an 8.7, the Bantam tko-c 12.7mm at an 8.7, the Bantam 14.3mm tko-c at an 8.9, the Tempest tko-c 14.3mm at a 9.1, and the Tempest Wave Pro C 14.3mm at a 9.3, which all makes sense and honestly is quite surprising given how power oriented the tko-cx paddles are and how well they do in this category. For me, the tko-cx 12.7mm is the most interesting, most fun, and most powerful paddle in this lineup. It also has the most spin. I think if I was going to spend my hard-earned money on any paddle here, it would be that one. If I was a more control-oriented player but still wanted solid power for certain shots, I would grab the tko-c 14.3mm. These are my two favorite paddles out of all of them. I think they are very well suited for specific play styles, and they are going to be very durable and last a long time. You can get 10% off using code STSPickleball at Pickleball Central, which also makes returns super easy if you hate the paddle. If you want to see my video for the best eye protection in the space, click here. Make sure you subscribe for more videos just like this one. Have a freaking wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.